How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Let's do a detailed analysis of the main points and insights from the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, along with actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement these points and be successful in business. Chapter 1. If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. In this chapter, Carnegie emphasizes the importance of avoiding criticism and finding ways to get along with others. He notes that criticism tends to be counterproductive, and that it's better to look for ways to encourage and motivate people. One of the key insights from this chapter is that if you want to be successful in business, you need to learn how to build positive relationships with others. This includes avoiding negative comments or criticism, focusing on solutions rather than problems, and finding ways to show appreciation and gratitude. Actionable steps. Instead of criticizing others, look for opportunities to provide positive feedback and encouragement. Focus on finding solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Take the time to show appreciation and gratitude for the efforts of others, whether through a verbal compliment or a handwritten note. Chapter 2. The Big Secret of Dealing with People. In this chapter, Carnegie highlights the importance of showing genuine interest in others. He notes that people are more likely to be receptive to you if you take the time to listen to them and understand their perspective. One of the key insights from this chapter is that successful entrepreneurs take the time to build relationships with their customers, employees, and partners. By showing a genuine interest in others, they are able to build trust and loyalty. Actionable steps. Make an effort to really listen to others, rather than just waiting for your turn to speak. Ask questions that show you're interested in learning more about the other person. Look for ways to build rapport and find common ground with others. Chapter 3. He who can do this has the whole world with him. He who cannot walks a lonely way. In this chapter, Carnegie discusses the importance of being able to see things from the other person's perspective. He notes that people are often more interested in their own needs and desires than in the needs of others. Therefore, if you want to be successful in business, you need to be able to put yourself in the other person's shoes and understand their perspective. One of the key insights from this chapter is that empathy is a critical skill for successful entrepreneurs. Actionable steps. Try to see things from the other person's perspective, even if you don't agree with them. Practice active listening to show that you're genuinely interested in understanding the other person's point of view. Use empathy to build rapport and trust with others. Chapter 4. The Little Trick That Made the Monkey Outsell the Lion. In this chapter, Carnegie emphasizes the importance of finding ways to make people feel important. He notes that people have a deep need to feel valued and appreciated, and that successful entrepreneurs find ways to meet this need. One of the key insights from this chapter is that successful entrepreneurs understand the importance of making their customers, employees, and partners feel valued and appreciated. Actionable steps. Look for ways to make people feel important and valued. Practice active listening to show that you're genuinely interested in what others have to say. Use positive reinforcement and encouragement to build people up and make them feel good about themselves. Chapter 5. If you don't do this, you are headed for trouble. In this chapter, Carnegie emphasizes the importance of avoiding arguments and finding ways to work collaboratively with others. He notes that arguments tend to be counterproductive and that it's better to look for ways to find common ground and work together. One of the key insights from this. Chapter 6. How to Make People Like You. In Chapter 6, Carnegie talks about the importance of being likable if you want to influence people. He lists 6 ways to make people like you. Become genuinely interested in other people. Smile, remember and use people's names. Be a good listener. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. Make the other person feel important, and do it sincerely. These 6 points may seem simple, but they are incredibly powerful when used correctly. Here are some actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement them. Practice active listening. When you're talking to someone, focus on what they're saying and ask follow-up questions to show that you're interested in what they have to say. Use people's names. When you meet someone, make an effort to remember their name and use it in conversation. This shows that you're paying attention and that you value them as an individual. Smile. A genuine smile can go a long way in making people feel comfortable and appreciated. Show genuine interest. Ask people about their interests and passions and try to find common ground. This can help you build a connection with them and make them feel valued. Speak in their language. Pay attention to the words and phrases that people use and try to speak in a way that they can relate to. This can help you build rapport and establish trust. Give sincere compliments. When you notice something positive about someone, let them know. This can help boost their self-esteem and make them feel valued. Chapter 7. How to Get People to Like You Instantly. In Chapter 7, Carnegie talks about the importance of first impressions and how to make a good one. He lists 6 ways to get people to like you instantly. Use a person's name. Smile. Be a good listener. Talk about things that interest the other person. Make the other person feel important. Be genuinely interested in the other person. These tips may seem similar to the ones in Chapter 6, but they focus more on the first impression you make. Here are some actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement them. Do your research. If you're meeting someone for the first time, try to learn a bit about them beforehand so that you can ask informed questions and make a connection. Be present. When you're meeting someone for the first time, give them your full attention. Don't check your phone or look around the room. Focus on the conversation at hand. Focus on the positive. When you're making small talk, try to steer the conversation towards positive topics. This can help establish a positive association with you in the other person's mind. Be enthusiastic. Show enthusiasm for the conversation and the other person's interests. This can help you build a connection and make a good impression. Be genuine. Don't try to fake interest or enthusiasm. People can usually tell when you're not being sincere. Instead, try to find common ground and build a real connection. Chapter 8. How to win people to your way of thinking. In Chapter 8, Carnegie talks about the importance of persuasion and how to get people to see your point of view. He lists 12 ways to win people to your way of thinking. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say you're wrong. If you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. Begin in a friendly way. Get the other person saying yes, yes immediately. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. Let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Appeal to the nobler motives. Dramatize your ideas. Throw down a challenge. These 12 principles of persuasion are essential for entrepreneurs who want to influence people and win them over to their way of thinking. Here are some actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement them. Focus on common ground. When you're trying to persuade someone, find common ground and work from there. This can help establish a connection and make the other person more open to your ideas. Listen carefully. When the other person is talking, really listen to what they're saying. This can help you understand their perspective and find ways to appeal to their needs and desires. Don't get defensive. If someone disagrees with you, don't take it personally. Instead, stay calm and try to find a way to work together. Use positive language. Instead of saying you're wrong, try saying something like I see things differently. This can help keep the conversation constructive and positive. Be respectful. Always show respect for the other person, even if you disagree with them. This can help establish trust and build a connection. Focus on the other person's needs. When you're trying to persuade someone, focus on their needs and desires. This can help you find ways to appeal to their motivations and make them more open to your ideas. Chapter 9. How to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. In Chapter 9, Carnegie talks about how to change people without causing offense or resentment. He lists 4 steps to take. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. These steps are essential for entrepreneurs who want to make changes without alienating their team or customers. Here are some actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement them. Give specific praise. When you're giving praise, be specific about what the other person did well. This can help them understand what they're doing right and feel appreciated. Be constructive. When you're addressing mistakes, focus on how they can be corrected instead of just pointing them out. This can help the other person learn and improve without feeling attacked. Take responsibility. If you make a mistake, own up to it and talk about how you plan to fix it. This can help establish trust and show that you're willing to hold yourself accountable. Use questions. Instead of giving direct orders, try asking questions that encourage the other person to come up with their own solutions. This can help build confidence and encourage creativity. Chapter 10. The Secret of Socrates. In Chapter 10, Carnegie talks about the Socratic method and how it can be used to influence people. He lists 4 steps to take. Get the other person saying yes, yes immediately. Keep the other person, if possible, from saying no. Make the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. These steps are essential for entrepreneurs who want to use the Socratic method to influence people. Here are some actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement them. Ask open-ended questions. Ask questions that require more than a yes or no answer. This can encourage the other person to think more deeply and share more information. Avoid no questions. Avoid asking questions that might lead the other person to say no. This can shut down the conversation and make it harder to influence them. Encourage ownership. Phrase questions in a way that makes the other person feel ownership over the idea. This can make them more committed to the idea and more likely to follow through. Listen actively. Let the other person do most of the talking and really listen to what they're saying. This can help you understand their perspective and find ways to influence them more effectively. Chapter 11. The Dramatic Story of the Two-Gun Crowley. In this chapter, Carnegie tells the story of a criminal named Two-Gun Crowley and how he was finally apprehended by the police. The lesson here is that people respond more to kindness and understanding than to punishment and criticism. As an entrepreneur, you can use this lesson to motivate your team and customers by showing empathy and understanding their needs. Chapter 12. When nothing else works, try this. In this chapter, Carnegie talks about a technique for dealing with difficult people. He suggests that you should try to understand the other person's perspective and find common ground. Then, you should build on that common ground to find a solution that works for everyone. This technique can be used to resolve conflicts and build stronger relationships with difficult customers or team members. Chapter 13. The move is do it. TV does it. Why don't you do it? In this chapter, Carnegie talks about the power of storytelling and how it can be used to influence people. He suggests that entrepreneurs should use stories to illustrate their ideas and make them more memorable. This can be a powerful tool for building brand identity and connecting with customers on an emotional level. Here are some actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement this lesson. Use stories to illustrate your ideas. Instead of just presenting facts and figures, use stories to make your ideas more memorable and relatable. Find common themes. Look for common themes in your stories that can help you build a stronger brand identity and connect with your customers on an emotional level. Use visuals. Use visuals to help illustrate your stories and make them more engaging. This can be especially effective in marketing and advertising campaigns. Overall, How to Win Friends and Influence People is a classic book that offers timeless insights into human behavior and effective communication. Entrepreneurs can benefit greatly from the principles outlined in the book, including the importance of empathy, active listening, and finding common ground. By implementing these principles in their business practices, entrepreneurs can build stronger relationships with their team members and customers, and ultimately achieve greater success. Chapter 14. The Audience That You Are Not Reaching. In this chapter, Carnegie discusses the importance of understanding your audience and tailoring your message to their needs and interests. This is essential for entrepreneurs who want to effectively communicate with their customers, investors, and other stakeholders. Here are some actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement this lesson. Research your audience. Before communicating with your audience, research their needs, interests, and preferences. This can help you tailor your message to their specific needs. Speak their language. Use language that resonates with your audience and avoid jargon or technical terms that might confuse them. Address their concerns. Address any concerns or objections that your audience might have and provide solutions to their problems. Chapter 15. If you must find fault, this is the way to begin. In this chapter, Carnegie talks about how to give feedback and criticism effectively. He suggests that you should start with a positive comment and then move on to the criticism. This can help the other person be more receptive to the criticism and more likely to take action to improve. Here are some actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement this lesson. Start with a positive comment. Begin by acknowledging the other person's strengths and accomplishments. This can help build rapport and make the criticism easier to accept. Be specific. Be specific about what you are criticizing and provide concrete examples. This can help the other person understand the issue and take action to improve. End on a positive note. End the conversation with a positive comment or suggestion for improvement. This can help the other person feel more motivated and empowered to make changes. Chapter 16. A Drop of Honey. In this chapter, Carnegie talks about the power of kindness and how it can be used to influence people. He suggests that small acts of kindness can build trust and rapport and make it easier to influence others in the future. Here are some actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement this lesson. Be kind. Show kindness and compassion to your team members, customers, and other stakeholders. This can help build trust and strengthen relationships. Offer help. Offer help and support to others, even if it's just a small gesture. This can show that you care and are willing to go above and beyond. Follow through. Follow through on your promises and commitments. This can build credibility and trust with others. Chapter 17. The Power of a Smile. In this chapter, Carnegie talks about the power of a smile and how it can be used to influence people. He suggests that a genuine smile can create a positive first impression, build rapport, and make it easier to influence others. Here are some actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement this lesson. Smile. Make a conscious effort to smile more often, especially when interacting with others. This can help create a positive first impression and build rapport. Be genuine. Make sure your smile is genuine and not forced or insincere. People can usually tell when a smile is fake, which can actually have the opposite effect. Mirror others. Mirror the other person's body language and facial expressions, including their smile. This can help build rapport and create a sense of connection. Chapter 18. He who can do this has the whole world with him. He who cannot walks a lonely way. In this chapter, Carnegie talks about the importance of being able to see things from other people's perspective. He suggests that empathy and understanding can help build stronger relationships and make it easier to influence others. Here are some actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement this lesson. Listen actively. Listen actively to the other person and try to understand their point of view. This can help you see things from their perspective and build empathy. 2. Ask questions. Ask questions to clarify their perspective and show that you are interested in understanding their point of view. Practice empathy. Put yourself in their shoes and imagine how they might be feeling. This can help you understand their emotions and motivations. Chapter 19. A formula that will work wonders for you. In this final chapter, Carnegie shares a formula for influencing people and achieving success in business and life. He suggests that by following this formula, anyone can become a master influencer and achieve their goals. Here are the steps of the formula and how entrepreneurs can implement them. Know what you want, define your goals, and know what you want to achieve in business and life. Know what the other person wants. Understand the needs, desires, and motivations of the other person. This can help you tailor your message and approach to their needs. Show the other person how to get what they want. Provide solutions and ideas that can help the other person achieve their goals. This can help build trust and rapport. Help the other person get what they want. Provide support, guidance, and resources to help the other person achieve their goals. This can help build long-term relationships and loyalty. Overall, How to Win Friends and Influence People provides a comprehensive guide to building strong relationships and influencing people in business and life. By implementing the actionable steps outlined in the book, entrepreneurs can improve their communication skills, build trust and rapport, and achieve their goals. The book emphasizes the importance of understanding other people's perspectives, being kind and empathetic, and tailoring your message to your audience. These lessons are timeless and continue to be relevant in today's business world. Chapter 20. Do this and you'll be welcome anywhere. In this chapter, Carnegie emphasizes the importance of making others feel important and valued. He argues that everyone has a desire to feel important and that by acknowledging and valuing others, we can build strong relationships and influence them. Here are some actionable steps entrepreneurs can take to implement this point. Acknowledge others. Take the time to acknowledge others and show them that they are important to you. Listen actively. Listen to others actively and show that you value their opinions and thoughts. Show appreciation. Show appreciation for others and acknowledge their contributions. Chapter 21. What Everybody Wants. In this chapter, Carnegie emphasizes the importance of understanding what others want and need. He argues that by understanding what others want, we can tailor our approach and communication to better meet their needs. Here are some actionable steps entrepreneurs can take to implement this point. Understand others' needs. Take the time to understand the needs and desires of others. Tailor your message. Tailor your message and approach to meet the needs of your audience. Provide solutions. Provide solutions that address the needs and desires of your audience. Chapter 22. An Appeal That Everybody Likes. In this chapter, Carnegie discusses the power of appealing to others' self-interest. He argues that by showing others how they can benefit from our ideas or proposals, we can influence them more effectively. Here are some actionable steps entrepreneurs can take to implement this point. Highlight benefits. Highlight the benefits of your ideas or proposals and show how they can help others. Show how it solves a problem. Show how your ideas or proposals can solve a problem or meet a need for others. Be specific. Be specific about the benefits and how they can be realized. Chapter 23. The Move is Do It. TV does it. Why don't you do it? In this chapter, Carnegie discusses the power of visualization and imagination. He argues that by using vivid language and imagery, we can better influence others. Here are some actionable steps entrepreneurs can take to implement this point. Use vivid language. Use vivid language and imagery to make your message more engaging and memorable. Paint a picture. Paint a picture in the minds of others to help them see and understand your ideas. Use metaphors. Use metaphors to make complex ideas more accessible and relatable. Chapter 24. Give the Dog a Good Name. In this chapter, Carnegie emphasizes the importance of building a good reputation and image. He argues that by cultivating a positive reputation, we can influence others more effectively. Here are some actionable steps entrepreneurs can take to implement this point. Be consistent. Be consistent in your behavior and communication to build a positive reputation. Cultivate a positive image. Cultivate a positive image by showcasing your strengths and accomplishments. Build trust. Build trust with others by being reliable and honest. Chapter 25, The Secret of Socrates. In this final chapter, Carnegie discusses the importance of asking questions to influence others. He argues that by asking questions, we can better understand others' perspectives and needs and tailor our message to them. Here are some actionable steps entrepreneurs can take to implement this point. Ask open-ended questions. Ask open-ended questions to encourage others to share their thoughts and perspectives. Listen actively. Listen actively to others' responses to better understand their needs and desires. Tailor your message. Tailor your message based on what you learn from asking questions to better influence others. Overall, these chapters in How to Win Friends and Influence People provide valuable insights into building strong relationships and influencing others in business and life. By implementing the actionable steps outlined in the book, Chapter 25, The Secret of Socrates. In this chapter, Carnegie discusses the power of asking questions to influence others. He emphasizes the importance of asking open-ended questions to encourage others to share their thoughts and perspectives, and to better understand their needs and desires. By asking questions, we can tailor our message and approach to better influence others. Actionable steps for entrepreneurs to implement this point include: ask open-ended questions. Ask open-ended questions to encourage others to share their thoughts and perspectives. Listen actively. Listen actively to others' responses to better understand their needs and desires. Tailor your message. Tailor your message based on what you learn from asking questions to better influence others. Chapter 26, You Can't Win an Argument. In this chapter, Carnegie argues that it is not productive to argue with others. He suggests that instead of trying to prove others wrong, we should strive to understand their perspective and look for common ground. By doing so, we can build stronger relationships and influence others more effectively. Actionable steps for entrepreneurs to implement this point include: seek to understand. Seek to understand others' perspectives and look for common ground. Avoid arguments. Avoid getting into arguments with others. Build relationships. Focus on building strong relationships with others rather than proving them wrong. Chapter 27, A Sure Way of Making Enemies and How to Avoid It. In this chapter, Carnegie warns against criticizing others. He argues that criticism is counterproductive and can lead to resentment and conflict. Instead, he suggests focusing on positive reinforcement and highlighting the strengths and accomplishments of others. Actionable steps for entrepreneurs to implement this point include: focus on positive reinforcement. Focus on positive reinforcement to encourage others. Highlight strengths and accomplishments. Highlight the strengths and accomplishments of others to build their confidence. Avoid criticism. Avoid criticizing others and instead focus on building them up. Chapter 28, The Safety Valve and Handling Complaints. In this chapter, Carnegie suggests that complaints can be an opportunity to build stronger relationships with customers or clients. He emphasizes the importance of listening actively to complaints and taking action to address them. By doing so, we can show that we care about our customers and are committed to meeting their needs. Actionable steps for entrepreneurs to implement this point include: listen actively. Listen actively to complaints and show that you understand the customer's perspective. Take action. Take action to address the customer's concerns and show that you are committed to meeting their needs. Follow up. Follow up with the customer to ensure that they are satisfied with the resolution. Chapter 29, How to Get Cooperation. In this chapter, Carnegie discusses the importance of building trust and rapport to get cooperation from others. He argues that by showing empathy and understanding, we can build stronger relationships and influence others more effectively. Actionable steps for entrepreneurs to implement this point include: build trust. Build trust with others by being reliable and honest. Show empathy. Show empathy and understanding to build rapport with others. Communicate clearly. Communicate clearly and effectively to ensure that others understand your needs and objectives. Chapter 30, A Formula That Will Work Wonders for You. In the final chapter of the book, Carnegie provides a formula for influencing others. Begin in a friendly way. Get the other person saying yes, yes immediately. Let the other person do most of the talking. Let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. Try honestly to see things from the other.